What's up, guys? So, yesterday I got a chance to interview Ryan Horgan. He's an amazing guy. I have nothing but respect for him, and I'm really glad that he accepted my invitation to make this happen. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Who is Ryan Horgan? If you can introduce yourself in your own words.
It's an introduction.
Yeah.
Uh, Good question. I'll just give you the bird's eye view. Just a 36-year-old father, husband, father of two boys, tennis coach, personal trainer, and aspiring YouTuber, I guess. Yeah, aspiring YouTuber slash entrepreneur. Let's call it that.
So, is YouTube like the thing that you're focusing on the most right now?
Aside from like just actual work, you mean like the only other like there's a side hustle thing?
Yeah, I guess so. Like side hustle. If you have a job, then probably the
Yeah,
job.
obviously full time jobs. Yeah, full time job is mostly the tennis coaching, but yeah, the plan is hopefully transition into making money online with YouTube.
Why specifically YouTube?
I think I saw some good advice from a couple of people, and they always said like imagine your dream life and then work your way back from there. Um, and I've just been a very big advocate of freedom. I'm not really like money or any like material things doesn't really motivate me, but just freedom of time. And I think social media, but especially more so YouTube, offers that has the biggest potential for that. So yeah, and plus it's a good outlet for me as well. I've got I've got a lot of opinions on a lot of things, so it's just nice to express those.
I kind of feel the same way, only if it wasn't that hard for me. Do you think the space is saturated, or if that's not a big deal?
Like the self-improvement space.
Yeah, like creating a brand online on social media.
Saturated, you know, it's if you're going for like a personal brand, then it can't be saturated if it's your personal brand, right? There's only literally one of you.
Hmm.
I do get like how many people can the masses follow or care about. There's probably like a little bit maybe of personal brand exhaustion, but there's always room for different and unique, um, and there's always room for the best. So if you think you're the best, you can go into any niche, no matter how saturated.
I like that. What are you? I mean, what are the things that you've always been interested in, and what are the things that you deem as most important in life?
What I've always been interested in. Mm, Always been interested in, skill sets, sports,
Hmm.
fitness, being healthy, being fit, moving my body, learning new skills. Um, yeah, they're the things I've always been interested. A lot of things, a lot more interest over the last 10, 12 years have come into play, but they're the things that have always been with me. And what was the second question?
What are the things that you deem as most important in life?
Obviously, like my kids, my wife, family, friends, but yeah, more looking at something more holistically, probably like search for uh, search for truth and meaning and again freedom.
That's I like it.
You can't find freedom without truth.
I like that approach. Well, yeah, I also search for the truth, and would you say that most people are quote unquote allergic to the truth nowadays? If yes, what do you think is the reason?
Well, we live in weird times. We don't really live in the time of like information. We live more in a time of like misinformation. So,
Hmm.
it's hard. It's actually hard. It's hard to decipher what is really the truth. And so people get lied to all the time. More and more people waking up to the lies, or realizing they fell for certain lies and half truths. And people are very programmed, man. I think COVID was a huge litmus test and a huge wake up call, especially for someone like myself. It made me realize how many people really are incapable of thinking for themselves.
Hmm.
And the truth demands you think for yourself, which a lot of people don't want to do.
Yeah. Um, I like when you said half truths. How important it is to, get to know the truth as a whole. And, if half truth is a bad thing, then how much damaging can it be to believe a half truth?
Good questions, by the way. Good
Thanks.
questions, but it depends. It depends what the half truth is. What's it about? Really depends, to be honest. It's hard to really say. The problem is when it's a half truth and you believe it to be the full truth. That's where the real problems lie, right?
Hmm.
But it depends. It depends what it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. When and how did you find out that understanding yourself is so important for a person and their life?
I would say 7 or 8 years ago, roughly. If I put a time frame on it, I think I was I owe a lot to my wife for that one. She was uh she was way ahead of me on understanding herself and the spiritual path. When we first met, I was like, she was way there. She was already training to be a clinical psychologist, and she'd been reading Jung and uh, Freud and Nietzsche and Schopenhauer, all this type of stuff. And I was just like this guy who was like half brain dead and just only cared about getting drunk and getting laid, and that was it. And so she saw some potential in me, so she opened up a lot to that. And then it only really the penny started to drop on that. Like I would say like 7 8 years ago it started to drop. Probably when the frontal cortex fully developed. So I hit like 25. I hit 26, and I remember thinking like, I don't know, I really felt like I changed at 26, and then really wanted to go down that route, self discovery.
Wow. Um, do you think that men of today have it hard to live a decent life, mentally or physically? Um, if yes, what do you think is the cause?
Physically, no. It's probably the best time, like for men, like the easiest time. I mean, there's comfort every corner. We've never had it easier, right? I mean, you don't have to do any. We had it much harder, fucking tens of thousands of years ago when we had to go and actually find food, hunt food, or gather, or whatever it was. And then, I wouldn't have liked to have lived 2,000 years ago in that regard. No, no, physically, yeah, it's easy, but that's the problem. That's why it has also caused a lot of unrest. It's one of the reasons why it's psychologically hard. Oh man, I could go into that one for like hours talking about, how why men are struggling psychologically. There's a lot of reasons for it, but I think I always believed Carl Jung's quote, like a society should live as close to its nature as possible. And I think in the West, majority of the West, we're moving further and further away from that nature. That sits at the heart of that struggle, really.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's not possible for people to live away from the nature for too long. This dystopian image of life, I think it's unsustainable, that people would go crazy if they lived away from the nature in these modern, as you can see in the movies, cities. So,
Yeah, for sure. And then like I don't know, and then some of the politics and ideologies at play, and it's causing a lot of inner turmoil and outer.
what was your dating life like? If it was a struggle or not?
Yeah, all of my teenage years was a struggle. I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was just before my 18th birthday. And that was my first girl. That lasted like 6 months, and then I got into a relationship when I was 19. That lasted a couple of years, and during that time, when I was 19, I don't know, I just started becoming a bit better looking, a little bit more attractive, and I started to actually get some attention. And unfortunately, I couldn't resist. So I was not proud to say, but I was very naughty in that relationship. But I was young and dumb and whatever. I was not used to that attention.
Mm.
And then I broke up with that girl when I was 21, and for 2 years I went on a bit of a mad tear. Had a good time being single. Um, had my fun for a couple of years, and then I moved to Cyprus, and then I met very soon after I moved to Cyprus, I met who is my now wife, and that's it. We've been together ever since. A one woman man ever since.
Nice, nice. That's how it's supposed to be.
That
Uh,
is how it's meant to be. Yeah.
uh, what do you think is essential for a strong relationship between a man and a woman?
Again, I could list 100 things. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm actually like going youngest as well now.
Oh, it's fine.
So me and a wife debating who was going to go in. All right, she's gone in now. I might have to go if he doesn't go to sleep. I might have to go in.
Hmm.
If I have to go in, yeah, we'll probably have to continue this tomorrow or something. But
Okay.
what was I going to say? Yeah, the fundamentals. Yeah, I'm actually like finishing off a course on this. I
Oh.
think. Look, I think. In 70% of divorces, for example, in in the US, 70% of divorced couples say that they didn't understand the commitment involved in a marriage. They didn't understand what goes into it, and I think too many people go into relationships and they have no idea really what goes into it. They go in with this mindset of like it should be a fairy tale and the romance should be high and all this all the time, and that's not the case, man. And there's a lot of things, a lot of factors you have to consider. So I can't put my finger on one exact thing. It's a lot of things, but but two people who are actually serious from the moment they get together, they're actually serious about trying to make it go the distance. I think if you don't have, if you're dating and you don't have that in mind, you're just wasting your time.
Hmm.
And too many people date, because let's just see how this goes, and let's see if it's fun, and I just want to have fun, and I want to feel good, and it's like all that stuff's a waste of time if you're not serious, man.
Yeah. I think there's more and more lonely men out there today. Do you have any tips for such men?
Yeah, yeah. You have to. I don't think you should give up. I don't think any man should give up. But you have to, as difficult as it is. Obviously, we're wired in this way. We want to be with someone, we want connection, we want intimacy. For some people, it's just never going to happen, and you just have to find some way. Like you have to come up with a plan B and understand you might be alone forever, and you have to figure out a way to accept that and sort of be okay with it. And that involves curating a life that keeps you occupied, keeps you have some joy in it, have a little bit of meaning, have a little bit of purpose. Whether that's through hobbies or something else, skill sets, business, whatever it is. You've got to come up with some type of plan. But you don't just give up just because you can't get a woman. Like fucking, you're only here. You live here once. You're only here once. This, as we know, right? As far as we know, we're only here once.
Mm.
Um, and what a waste of a life if you give up on everything because you couldn't get a woman. There's so much in the world. There is so much to offer outside of
Mm.
that. And and the pain is, and trust me, it makes everything harder, right? I mean, almost numbs a lot of the other stuff. But what alternative do you have? What alternative do you have? Just sit and wallow about it all and hate the world and become nihilistic and depressed, or do you actually just try and squeeze whatever you can out of this fucking thing? I don't know. I'll go for the latter.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
people don't like hearing that from me. They don't like hearing it from me. I've said it before, but they're like, oh, but you're, a decent looking guy and you're married, and it's easy for you to say. And yeah, it's easy for me to say, but I had some experience. Like I said, for teenage years, man, as a teenager and you don't get any female attention is a fucking horrible place to be. So I do have some type. I remember those days. Like I sort of get it to some degree, but
Hmm.
like I said, they don't like hearing it from me. But what's I don't think I think I'm saying the truth there. I don't think there's any other options.
Yeah. Yeah. Many people
What do you-
literally give up and hate the whole world, right, for their circumstances. But you never know. It may come even later. I think the best option is really focus on yourself, on your life, and it may come, unexpectedly, even.
Exactly, exactly. Who knows what's around the corner, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, what's your opinion on alcohol, smoking, and other drugs? Do you drink, or do you have a history with such substances?
Just alcohol. I love alcohol. But not like I don't drink that much and I don't drink a lot when I do drink, but I like it. I like what it does to me because I've got a bit of like social anxiety and stuff, and it just takes the edge off and just gets me out of my own head and makes me relax. So, but I don't like getting really drunk anymore. Um, Apart from that, though, nothing else. I've never done anything else. I think I tried cocaine twice in my life. It didn't do anything. I had weed in cookie form once, and I was absolutely off my nut for about 48 hours. I thought I lost my mind and went schizophrenic. And so that was it. That's the only experience I've ever had, and nothing else. None of that stuff appeals to me, man.
Hmm. Well, yeah, it's not essential to life, but yeah, definitely.
Psychedelics, though. I'm interested in psychedelics, though. I'll start probably delving into that eventually.
Oh yeah, shrooms. I also heard things about them. Really interest me as well. So.
Yeah, yeah, big time. My cousin came back from a trip. He was like a raving nihilist and
Hmm.
atheist, and then he went and did ayahuasca, and he just came back. He's like, "Fucking hell, there is a God, there is a creator of the universe," and had this positive outlook on life all of a sudden. So I saw it transform him. So I was like, "Oh, I've got to try it one day."
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sounds sounds interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Um, what was the lowest point in your life, and what was your highest point in your life?
Lowest point, I had a really difficult. I spoke about this inside of a community call the other day. I actually the first 3 months of my first son being born was a very, very difficult period in my life. Very difficult time. Some some issues there that created that, and that was really very challenging, very quite dark at times. But we came out of that, thank God.
Hmm.
Um, and my highest point is like it's I don't know, just it's something just simple. Like every day, like I just sit in gratitude, think things are aligned, and I'm spending time having a good time with my kids, man. I don't know. It's just like a really simple thing. Like I've never felt something as profound as just having a good time with my sons, and them showing me love. That's it, at the best times.
Wow. So what was the harshest lesson in your life?
Mm. Harshest lesson. Mm. Question. Harshest lesson. Even my own mother doesn't have my own back at times, even when I needed her.
Hmm.
That was pretty harsh. Learned that at a young age. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we won't make it a therapy session.
Yeah, yeah. We don't need to. What are your goals in life? Or if you already feel fulfilled, did you have to overcome a lot of hardships?
Yeah, man. I think I feel like I've ticked off. I got a lot of things. I feel like the only real thing that I'm striving for now is just financial security. To be honest with you, financial freedom. Again, not for anything materialistic. I'm not motivated by a car or a house or anything like that. Just pure like just security for myself and my family. That's it. I've got a lot of others. I've got a great, fantastic wife, the kids. Of fulfilling life in many ways. But I would like that's the one. That's the big thing. That's where my focus is at the moment. That's it. Got to tick that one off. So I would like within 3 4 years to be able to say I never have to worry about money again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely honorable. And yeah, I hope it
It's
works
hard though
out.
because yeah, it's hard because for most of my life I was just programmed to believe money is bad. Even wanting money is bad.
Oh,
So even today I still have to work on that. Like it's okay to want to earn money.
yeah, yeah. It depends on the reason or, the motive. And I think your motive is the freedom.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, what would you say you are most proud of?
My kids for sure. My kids, especially my eldest, because obviously he's the eldest, so we've had more influence on him, and just seeing the way he is, man, the way he's growing up, is what a special boy he is. You know, the way he behaves, the way he views the world. Yeah, for sure. That's it. Not even close.
That's
Very
amazing.
cliche for that to say, but it's the truth.
Yeah, if it's the truth, then it's the truth. I guess that's like, what are you invested in today?
What am I invested in? Like, what do you mean exactly?
Or like, um, your focus, your mind, what are you working on nowadays?
Yeah, like I said, trying to sort out the money. I'm trying to think, really focused, trying to grow the YouTube channels. So I've got two, and how I could monetize that. That's a big thing. Thinking about that, and where I'm gonna like where it would lead, where I want to go with that, who I want to associate within the industries, and then trying to stay, trying to still stay aware and in touch with like understanding who I am along the journey, where I want to end up.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, uh, yeah, of course, my kids' lives and their future, of course. Just trying to create good little humans.
Oh, one more thing. Um, do you believe when a person finds themselves that they can forget who they are again, then they have to find themselves again?
I don't know. You like never really like really find yourself, and like we're so complex, right? Like it's never you never really like figure out who you really are, or we're just too complex, and we're always in a state of flux anyway. Um, and then what you said is then forget who you were. Did you say?
Oh yeah, when you like, find yourself, and is it possible to forget? And then you have to work to find yourself again.
Ah, okay. So then you, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yeah, you can, man, life gets in the way, right? Things get in the way. You can do all the internal work you want, but then, bills have to be paid and right, and then your boss is on your tits and your family are annoyed at you. Yeah, things get in the way and you forget about all that whole inner work and you got to go back to it again and stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's not like you reach
And
nirvana or
yeah.
and you stay there forever, right?
Mm.
It's become just you get distracted and you come back to it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I believe that. So
Yeah.
I think that's it. So where can people find you and where can they support you?
Man, I'll just go on type in Ryan Horgan on YouTube. So I've got two channels. One is just Ryan Horgan, the other one's Ryan Horgan Unfiltered, and the second one is there's a bit more popular at the moment. That's it, really. That's it for now. That's the places to find and support me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for accepting this. You're a sympathetic guy. Really, it really means a lot to me. I'm kind of a fan. But
That's well, you're welcome, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. We could have been slightly better circumstances, not so late and kids waking up and stuff, but we got there in the end.
oh no, it was perfect. It was all right. It worked out. That's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Cheers, man. Thanks for doing it anyway. Thanks for reaching out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you for accepting.